And folks, now let's meet your Pac-12 championship team. Please welcome number 45, Kia Etchloff. Number 12, Kira Gardner. Number 11, Astera Tuhina. Number 1, Tara Wallach. Number 10, Ekin Chalikdemir. Number 14, Jessica Clark. Number 21, Johanna Tedar. Number 55, Bella Murakatete. Number 5, Charlissa Leger-Walker. Number 20, Grace Sarver. And number 15, Ula Motuga. Let's give your champs one more round of applause. Now, fans, please direct your attention to the West Basket for the raising of the championship banner. This banner represents the first ever Pac-12 title clinched by a female team in Washington State athletics history.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Hey, let's put that in its final resting place. Let's raise that banner up to the rafters. One more round of applause for your Pac-12 champs.
On Monday, the Washington State University women opened up their season at Beasley Coliseum, taking on the Cal Poly Mustangs, and it was a little bit tough going for Washington State early on, trailing by 3 at halftime, but then they would get things going in the second half. Some outside shots would start to fall. They also started to dominate in the paint as they would use their size advantage. Bella Mercatetti and Tara Wallach going inside, and defensively they picked up things as well, allowing Cal Poly to only score 27 second-half points. Although Charlissa Leger-Walker didn't have a big scoring night, she did a lot of other things on the court to help the Cougars win. And oh yeah, they're freshmen some big threes. A couple from Ella Villa, and how about 4 from Jenna Villa? She was one of 5 Cougars in double digits in the 78-61 victory. Again, the Cougars outscored Cal Poly 47-27 in that second half. For the Gonzaga Bulldogs, they were in Missoula to open up their season, and it was close going into the fourth quarter, but in the fourth quarter, it was Gonzaga who would score on possessions that they needed to score, and every time they needed a bucket, they seemed to pick one up as they would lengthen their lead, and with that, would go to Dahlberg Arena and take home a win over the Montana Grizzlies. Not only did the Zags start 1-0 this season, but of course, they've had some success over the past half a dozen seasons under Lisa Fortier. As a matter of fact, they've been to the NCAA tournament each of the last 6 seasons. It's the Cougs, it's the Zags. Coming up, we've got starting lineups and your opening tip. It's next, right here on Pac-12 Plus.
A couple of double-digit scores for Lisa Fortier's team. Graduate players out of Houston, Texas. And they come in with Kaylee scoring 11 points in the win over the Missoula against the Montana Grizzlies. Kaylynne ended up with 19 points in that win. Bruna Maxwell transferred from Utah to Gonzaga. She's going to be a big outside threat for the Zags this season. She scored 9 in their season opening win. Eliza Hollingsworth, 16 points and 9 rebounds. She's going to be a player to deal with inside, a 6'3" grad player from Melbourne, Australia. And rounding out their starting 5, it's Yvonne Ejim. She is a senior out of Calgary, Alberta, and a 6'1" senior for Lisa Fortier's Gonzaga Bulldogs. Meanwhile, for the Washington State University Cougars, Charlissa Leger-Walker, 5'10" senior out of New Zealand, scored 6 in the season opener against the Mustangs of Cal Poly. Of course, averages just under 18 points per game last season for the Cougars. Tara Wallach is in the starting lineup. She's a 6'2" junior out of South Surrey, Canada, and she's averaging 11 points in the one game so far for the Cougars. Estera Tahina, Beyonce and Bella Mercatete all getting to double digits as well. Beyonce, of course, the grad player from Idaho. She is a 6'1" graduate player out of Washougal, Washington. Tahina is a 5'9" sophomore from Pristina, Kosovo. And Bella Mercatete, 6-year, 5th-year player out of Rwanda. So happy to have you with us, Cami Etheridge, the head coach of the Cougars, and also for the Gonzaga Bulldogs, Lisa Fortier, their head coach. Big Cougar contingent on hand, or for that matter, a nice big Gonzaga contingent on hand to root on the Gonzaga Bulldogs. The Cougars in their white uniforms with the crimson numerals and lettering. Meanwhile, the Zags are going to be in red uniforms today with the white numerals and the blue trim. Bella Mercatete will jump it up for Washington State. She'll be in the center's circle along with Yvonne Ejim. It's going to be a ball that's thrown into the air by our second referee, And it's going to be into the air, and it's going to end up being a Gonzaga winning of the opening tip, and we're underway here from Beasley Coliseum in Pullman on this special Thursday night of college basketball. Maxwell looks to get it inside, getting a hand on it beyond speed, and it ends up out of bounds, and it will stay with Gonzaga. For some reason, 9:45 left, 15 seconds off the game clock, but only 12 off the shot clock. That reads 18 left on it, but nonetheless, the ball comes in, and Gonzaga will have it. Maxwell now at the three-point arc, gets it inside, working against Charlissa Leger-Walker, spins into the paint, and that one's going to be put up and in by Ejim, and she will have her first two of the evening. So Gonzaga gets the opening bucket, just a little shy of a half a minute in. Now Washington State with their first offensive possession. B out to the top of the key to Terrell Wallach. She'll find Charlissa Leger-Walker. Starts to move down the right side. A little follow-away shot off the glass and good from 12. And great to see Charlisse getting things going with the opening point. And then Gonzaga gets a turnover, inbounding the ball with no Cougar pressure. So just a mental mistake will give the Zags a turnover. It will give the ball right back over to Washington State. Charlisse again, only 6 points in the opener, went 2 out of 10, so great to see her get on the board early in this one, and she's now got it out high on the left. Gets it inside to Bella Murakatete. One bounce, goes up strong, misses it, grabs her own rebound. Gonna try and go up again. That one's off the mark, no good. And a rebound comes down to Gonzaga this time. Up court will come Truong. This is Kaylynne Truong out to the top of the key. It'll go to Hollingworth. Hollingworth working against Bell around the right side, feeds it inside to Ejim. On her, beyond speed. Ejim, a baseline jumper from 12 off the heel of the rim, no good. Battle for the rebound, and it comes down to Charlissa Leger-Walker. She starts it up court. Now we'll stop at the three-point arc, gives it to a trailing Bella Murakatete, who then rotates it over to AT. Tahina to Charlissa Leger-Walker, then over to beyond speed at the left wing. Now Wallach will take over at the point, gives it to Charlisse. Three ball on the way, off the back of the rim, no good, but a long rebound down to Wallach. Tahina thought about firing a three, but didn't. Now gives it right back to Charlisse. Tahina to Charlisse. Out high on the right, fakes to the right, goes to the left. A little off-balance shot from 6, off the mark, no good. And the rebound this time cleaned up by Gonzaga. So each team scoring on their first offensive possession. We've been dry since, and it's 2-2, almost 2 minutes into the opening period. Maxwell gives it over to the right wing to Kaylynne Truong. Now inside to Ejim, who got away from a defender and puts it up and in. Ejim, both of the Gonzaga baskets so far. She's got 4. It's 4-2 Washington State. Wallach now at the right wing, takes it out to the top of the key, and a little bit of contact, and it is a little bit, but they're going to call an offensive foul on Terrell Wallach, and that's going to be her first. Not sure if Brenna Maxwell was trying to sell that or not, but if she was, a good job of selling it. And it'll be a turnover for the Cougars, and now the Zags with it back in front court. Ball at the top with Kaylynne Truong with it. Gives to Ejim. Back out to Kaylynne Truong out high on the right. Hollingworth coming over for the screen. Thought about a three, now gives it to Ejim at the high post. She'll drive on Murakatete, 17-footer from the left elbow, rolling off the rim, no good. Rebound to Estera Tahina. Cougs back into front court. Charlisse feeds it in low to Bella Murakatete. In traffic, puts it up and in. And Bella has her first two, and we are even at 4 apiece. 7 and change left to play in the first. Maxwell takes it to the top of the key, working out against beyond speed, drives in, puts up a shot. That one won't go. Late foul whistle will be called. And it's going to go against Charlissa Leger-Walker. She'll pick up her first. Meanwhile, to the free throw line, it's going to be Brenna Maxwell, a Washington native from Gig Harbor, Washington. Went to Salt Lake City to play for the Utah Utes, and has since transferred back here to the Pacific Northwest and now playing for Lisa Fortier and the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Maxwell hits the first free throw. Gonzaga back in front, 5-4. Second free throw also good. And it's now 6-4 in favor of Gonzaga. A little over 3 minutes gone by, opening frame. Cougars into front court, a little bit of a trap set up as they will get into front court. Now Bell with it, backs up Ejim into the paint, crossover move, gonna be whistled for a travel. So that'll give it back over to the Zags. Again, just getting things started here as we're opening quarter action from Pullman. 6-4 Gonzaga with 6 3/4 left to play in the opening stanza. Kaylynne Truong across the timeline with the left-handed dribble, guarded by Tahina. Now it goes to Kaylynne Truong, over to the right side to Ejim. She'll penetrate into the lane, got around the defender and puts it up and in. So the senior out of Calgary, 6 of the 8 points so far for the Bulldogs, and it's 8-4 Gonzaga. Charlissa Leger-Walker, three-point line extended. On her, Truong, poked out of bounds, and it will stay with Washington State. Jenna Villa had 4 threes in her debut on Monday, checks in. Meanwhile, Alex Colville also checking in. Terrell Wallach and Bella Murikatete over to the sideline. And it will be Estera Tahina bringing it in just about 6-7 feet up from the baseline on the sideline. Charlissa Leger-Walker now with it out at the top. Feeds it to Beyonce B, who goes into traffic, puts up a shot. That ball blocked away by Hollingworth, and now the Zags into front court. Left elbow jumper from 17, good from Kaylynne Truong. So she's got her first 2. The Zags have scored 6 in a row, and it's 10-4 Gonzaga. Charlissa Leger-Walker to the top of the key to Beyonce B. Now over to Tahina. Now to the top to Charlisse. Now to Villa. Charlissa Leger-Walker in the near corner. She's got a three-point line extended. Ball poked away from her. Charlisse picks it up. Finds Colville inside. Shoots out a pass to Jenna Villa for 3. That one's strong, but Colville down with the rebound. And it's going to be a rebounding foul called against Gonzaga. Kaylynne Truong will pick up the foul call. That'll be her first. Meanwhile, it's the first against Gonzaga here in the opening period, and the Cougars will inbound on the baseline. Tahina out to the top of the key to Beyonce B, and now a foul away from the ball, and they're going to whistle this one, an offensive foul on Alex Colville. So that'll be her first, 3rd against the Cougars, and now Gonzaga with it. Didn't see a lot there, but nonetheless, it'll be Gonzaga basketball. Meanwhile, Cami Etheridge trying to find out what it was that maybe the post player Colville did, but didn't get privy to the conversation. In any case, it's now Ejim feeding it inside. Shot up, won't go, but a foul whistle. Gonna call the foul on Charlissa Leger-Walker, and that becomes a big one because it's a second early foul on her. Cami Etheridge could not believe it. Didn't look like there was a lot there, but we will see if we can get a look at a replay on that. And Charlisse is charged with her second early foul. In any case, to the free throw line, Eliza Hollingworth, a grad player from Melbourne, Australia. So Hollingworth ready for her first free throw. That one's up and good. She's got her first point. Gonzaga now a 7-0 run over the last 142. We were even at 4, now an 11-4, make it 12-4 Gonzaga lead, so they've scored 8 straight. 5:15 left to play opening period as the Cougars will bring it across the timeline. Tahina to Charlissa Leger-Walker, right back to AT. Tahina around to Colville's screen, out to the top, the key to Charlissa Leger-Walker, tries to feed it inside to Colville, off of her hands and out of bounds, and that's going to take us to immediate timeout. Well, just past the midway point, opening quarter, Cougs have started just 2 out of 7, Gonzaga 4 out of 6, and the Zags an early 8-point advantage. It's Gonzaga 12, Washington State 4. This is Cougar basketball. Here in the first 5 minutes. Meanwhile, Gonzaga just the 1 turnover so far. So, again, a little bit of an uneven start for the Cougars, and Gonzaga's been able to build an early lead. We'll see if the Cougars can find some momentum here in the second half of the opening quarter. Gonzaga will start with the basketball after that 5th turnover from Washington State. They'll have it in front court now. Pass goes inside to Hybins. Now they bring it back out to Maxwell. Maxwell at the 3-point arc. Bella Murikatete now on her on the switch. It comes to Hollingworth at the left elbow. Gonna try and drive in on B, but she moves her feet over. Back out to the free throw line. 3 left on the shot clock. Now we've got a whistle, and it's gonna be 3 in the key whistled against Gonzaga. So the Cougars, with some good defense, cause a Gonzaga turnover. And now Washington State with it during the break. Ella Villa has checked in for Washington State. Now Tahina with it at the right wing. Out to the top to Ella. She's got it now between the circles. Left-handed dribble. Bella now at the free throw line. Out to Tahina at the three-point arc. Shot clock at 12 right now as Tahina will start the dribble. Gets the screen from Murikatete. Stops, tries to do a crossover, and it's stripped away and knocked out of bounds. Last touching Washington State. Cougars didn't like their movement on offense from the bench that time and didn't like the spacing as well. And so sixth early turnover for Washington State here in the first 6 minutes. With it now is Kaylynne Truong. Into the lane she goes, stops, thought about putting up a shot, instead will bring it outside to Maxwell. Maxwell left-handed dribble, now pulls up from the foul line. Shot from 15 won't go. Beyonce B there for the rebound, and a foul will be called on Mott Hybens. A junior from the Netherlands and a transfer over from Syracuse. She'll pick up her first personal. Just the second against Gonzaga here in the opening period. 3:46 remaining here in the first quarter. Cougs have gone 3.5 minutes since they got that bucket inside from Bella Murikatete. Jenna Villa with it, has it now at the top of the key. Gives to Ella Villa. Villa off of Murikatete's screen down to the free throw line. Passes out on the corner. That one taken away by Hollingworth. Ball's loose. Villa's got it. Now they try and feed it inside to Murikatete. And once again, Gonzaga with the quick hands comes away with the steal. Up front court will come Kaylynne Truong. Hits a Hollingworth, and her feet got going just a little too fast, and she'll be whistled for one too many steps in the paint. So back over to Washington State it will go. Cougs now nearing 4 minutes without any points, and that again has allowed Gonzaga to maintain this 8-point lead. Neither team has scored here in a bit, but it's been an 8-0 run for Gonzaga. Tahina, wide open alley to the lane, off a screen, is gonna lay it up and in. Doesn't get any easier than that for AT as she gets the bucket. Cougars break the skid, and we're back within 6 now at 12-6. Pass goes over to the right wing to Stokes. Now back over to Kaylynne Truong. Her three ball is on the way, and that one good. And excuse me, that's Kaylynne Truong with the three. So she'll hit the three-pointer, and it's 15-6. Gonzaga now by 9. 2:35 left to play opening quarter. Ella Villa top of the key. She'll let a three fly. That's going to go off the window and good. So Ella Villa with a triple. The Italian native hits a three and brings the Cougars again back within 6. It's 15-9 now. She had a couple of threes in the opener against Cal Poly. Pass comes into the near corner. Another three, this one from Gonzaga. That's off the side of the backboard. No good from Stokes. It is deflected over to Estera Tahina. She'll bring it across for Washington State with 2 minutes left to play in the first, and a chance for the Cougars to get a little bit closer. AT into the lane, gives it to Beyonce B. Mid-range jumper from the baseline off the mark. Bella Murikatete hauls in the rebound. Ella Villa, another three. That's going to go off the iron this time. And the rebound this time down to Callie Stokes. Now up court will come Kaylynne Truong over on the far sideline. Takes it towards the baseline, going to keep on going before dishing it off, but it's loose and coming away with it Ella Villa. 2-on-2 the other way. They'll wait for help. Now it'll be Ella Villa. Quick little move into the lane. Kicks it back out to Bell at the top of the key. At the free throw line, looking to dish it back out. Will to Tahina as they'll recycle with 1:17 left on the first quarter clock. Tahina in the lane, 13-foot hanger. That one's up and good, and a foul whistled at the end of it. Count the bucket for Estera Tahina. Meanwhile, the foul is going to be whistled on Stokes as she'll pick up her first. And AT with the last 4 points, other than the three from Villa, and that'll bring the Cougars to within 4 at 15-11. So despite going 4 minutes without any points in this opening quarter during the middle portion of the quarter, Cougars are within 4, and instead of a chance at a three-point play, they're going to call the foul after the shot. So the Cougars will get possession. So they get the bucket and not a free throw, but since it's post-possession, they will get the ball to inbound. They'll bring it outside to Beyonce B. Now she finds Ella Villa. Villa over to Charlissa Leger-Walker. She finds B in the paint. Stops, tries to lean in. We're going to have a travel whistle on Beyonce as she tried to clear a little room in there. And just took one big step and was called for the step. And with that, it will go back over to Gonzaga. Minute left to play in the opening 10. It's 15-11, Gonzaga by 4. Hybens gives to Little, who just checked in. Now comes back to Truong. Shot from about 18 on the way. In and out, stays out. Rebound comes down to Ejim, though, and she puts it back up and in. So she's had a solid first quarter. Scored 8 of the 17 for Gonzaga, and it's 17-11 now. Charlissa Leger-Walker into the lane. Tries to feed it low to Bella. Not sure she was ready for it. I think she was going for the rebound. Now Maxwell the other way for Gonzaga. Feeds it back outside to Kaylynne Truong. Now over to the left-hand side. It goes to Little. Little to Ejim, back over to Truong. Truong's got it in the corner, brings it back out to the top of the key to Hybens. Now Stokes with it, gonna spin in against Charlissa Leger-Walker, and she'll get it up and in. That's Esther Little's first two. 19-11, so after the Cougars got to within 4, back-to-back baskets for Gonzaga. 3 seconds and counting. Charlisse in the lane and puts it up and in with the left hand. That'll be her second basket of the night. And the final 2 points of the quarter will go to Washington State. So Gonzaga does exit the first with a 6-point lead. They start to feel the Cougars maybe gaining a little traction as the quarter went along. All right, 10 minutes in. It's Gonzaga 19, Washington State 13, and we're back with the second quarter. It's next. This is Cougar basketball from Learfield. The Zags 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Probably the biggest thing so far in the opening quarter, 9 first quarter turnovers for Washington State. 4 so far for Gonzaga. Points off turnovers, 10-4 in favor of Gonzaga. All right, Washington State with the ball as we get things underway here in the second quarter. Again, it's Gonzaga by a half a dozen. The Cougars with it. Ella Villa out to the top to Jenna Villa. Jenna gives it back to Ella, down on the free throw line, a kick out to Jenna. 3-ball on the way, that one's gonna be short, no good. Bella's got the rebound, tried to save it, ends up out of bounds, last touching the leg of a Gonzaga Bulldog. All right, it'll be Cougar basketball. 8 left still on the shot clock as Villa's shot grazed the net but didn't hit the iron. Inbounds pass will come from Charlissa Leger-Walker. Bella right back to Charlisse. Deep 2 on the way, no good. And the weak side rebound comes down to Esther Little. So Gonzaga with it now into front court. It'll be Hybens giving it back to Little. Now up to the top to Ejim. Over to the right-hand side. With it there is Kaylynne Truong. Now back out to the top. Hits a cutting Brenna Maxwell, who puts one up from the foul line. Off the mark, no good. Rebound down to Terrell Wallach of Washington State. Cougars back across the timeline. Charlisse at the three-point arc. Underhands it to Ella Villa. She'll start the left-handed dribble. Skips a pass over to Terrell Wallach. Wallach now looking to hand off, but Truong on Jenna Villa. Now it goes to Jenna, but then she strips it away from Jenna. And back up court will come Kaylynne Truong. Finds a teammate in Hybens at the top. She hits a cutting Maxwell, but it's poked away from her. Now 4-on-2 the other way. Wallach trying to get ahead of the pack. Ball stripped away from her. So everybody kind of losing the handle on it over the last 30 seconds. Now Truong with it about 25 feet away from the basket. And will back it up a few steps to set up the offense. Gets the screen from Hybens. Goes to the foul line. Murakatete on her. Back out top. It's going to be taken away by Ella Villa. And a clear path in front of her, and she'll lay it up and in. So Ella Villa had the 3 earlier. Give her that easy layup, and the Cougars are within 4. 2 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. It's 19-15 Gonzaga. Truong working with Ella Villa on her. Finds Ejim right back to Truong. Kaylynne brings it out to the top to Maxwell. Into the near corner. Tries to feed it inside to Ejim. Ball loose as a couple of bodies got tangled up. Then a shot will be put up. No good. Rebound is taken down by Wallach. Long down court pass to Charlissa Leger-Walker. And She'll kind of wait for everybody to catch up. Now sends a pass cross court to Elavilla. Goes to Wallach, who's got it on the baseline. Into the paint. To the right she'll go. Puts it up off the back of the rim. No good. Rebound this time to Gonzaga. Kaylynne Truong back the other way. Finds Little. She tries to find Ejim. Again, the ball is loose. They scramble for it. And it's going to be a jump ball. A lot of bodies piling up inside that circle, the restricted circle, and everybody going after it. My goodness, what a scrum it's been at times. And again, a lot of turnovers each way, really, for a little over 12 minutes of action. The Cougars have had 11. Meanwhile, Gonzaga so far with a half a dozen. 7:13 left to play before halftime. Gonzaga will have it with 21 left on the shot clock. 7:13 left to play here in the first half, and Gonzaga with a 19-15 lead. It's been a lot of action in 2 minutes and 47 seconds, but not a lot of scoring. Just that steal and the coast-to-coast layup from Elavilla, the only 2 points we've had in the quarter so far. Inbounds pass will come in. Gonzaga with it. They feed it inside to Ejim. She's got a lot of traffic, so gives it back outside. Now a shot high off the rim. Won't go this time for the Bulldogs, and Claire O'Connor rebound to Washington State. They feed it inside to Beyonce B. She takes it strong to the hoop. That shot won't go. Wallach battling for the rebound. Has it. Now a foul going to be whistled. This foul's going to go against Gonzaga. Yvonne Ejim will pick up the foul call. And that's going to be her first. First foul of the quarter, despite all of the rugged play out there, and the inbounds pass from Washington State. Tahina to Charlissa Leger-Walker for three off the back of the rim, no good. Ejim down with the rebound. Now up court will come the Bulldogs and Kaylynne Truong. Over to the right side it now goes. O'Connor has it now in the corner. Back out to Kaylynne Truong, now to Kaylynne. She's going to take it down into the corner. Out in front of the Cougar bench, feeds it to the high post. Inside it goes to Ejim, and Wallach lost her foot in, and Ejim has the open basket underneath, and she's got 10 of the 21 for Gonzaga. 21-15. Again, Cougars down by 6 with 6:20 left to play in the opening half. Charlissa Leger-Walker to Estera Tahina, and an illegal screen going to be called on Beyonce B. That'll be her first. And that'll be logged down as the 12th turnover for Washington State. So again, the Cougars are going to have to limit these turnovers. Amazingly enough, they still have one more shot than the Bulldogs. Actually making 3 more shot attempts than Gonzaga early going. But nonetheless, Gonzaga back into forecourt. All right, 6 minutes and counting left to play here in the first half. Ejim now at the left elbow, working against B. Goes strong to the basket, won't go. Rebound comes down to Beyonce B. And now the Cougars back into front court with Charlissa Leger-Walker taking it into a Beyonce B drive to the layup, and she'll lay it up and in. So it's going to be a steal off the inbounds pass. Tahina to Elavilla. And how about 4 quick points just like that for Washington State? And they're within 2. It's 21-19. Now Gonzaga with it, and it's going to be an illegal screen on Ejim. So the bucket on the pass from Charlissa Leger-Walker for a lay-in for B. A steal on the inbounds pass. That was 2 quick points for Washington State. And now on the illegal screen, the Cougars will have it back. And here we go after trailing by as many as 9 early in this one. A chance for the Cougars to tie or take their first lead of the night. Elavilla with it at the 3-point arc. We'll give it to Tahina at the 3-point line. She's going to drive in, up with the left hand. Won't go, but be there for the rebound. Beyonce gives to Wallach. Wallach at the 3-point arc, starts the dribble. Into the lane, puts it up with the left hand. Won't go. Be the rebound and the putback. And the Cougars have tied it. It's now 21 apiece. Midway through the second quarter here in Pullman tonight. Truong starts to make her way to the hoop. That one's too strong. Rebound to Beyonce B of Washington State. Chance for the Cougars to take their first lead of the evening. Elavilla at the 3-point line. Bounces it to B. Inside to Charlissa Leger-Walker, but just a little too tall for her. And it's out of bounds. Well, Gonzaga early on in this one led by as many as 9. The Cougars, though, on a 6-0 run, have wiped away the deficit. And with 4:39 left to play before halftime, it's Washington State 21, Gonzaga 20 here in the second quarter, including the last 6 points over the last 65 seconds. Cougars 4 out of 11 from the floor in the second quarter, while Gonzaga 1 out of 6. Cougs now 10 out of 24. Gonzaga is 8 of 18. We told you that the Cougars have 13 turnovers. Gonzaga's got 8, and if you're wondering why is it the Cougars have 6 more shot attempts than Gonzaga, it's because they're out rebounding them by 10. It's 17-7 on the boards, Washington State. All right, Gonzaga with it. They've got it in front court trying to break this 21-all tie. It's going to be a foul whistled on Ella Villa for a hand up around the shoulder. Tied for the third time. Our first 2 ties all the way back when we were even at 2 and 4 apiece, just getting things started. Ella Villa is going to pick up her first personal, and the ball to be brought in right in front of me is Gonzaga to inbound. It will come in to Kaylynne Truong. She's got it now for Gonzaga. Meanwhile, over to the right-hand side now. Back out to the right wing, and then up to the top to Kaylynne Truong. Back to Kaylynne. She circles to the left now, and Beyonce B now on her on the switch. 2 left to shoot, 1 left to shoot. She can't get the shot off. That becomes the 9th turnover on Gonzaga. They had only 4 at the end of the opening period, so that's now 5 turnovers in just about 6 minutes of play here in the second quarter, and an opportunity for the Cougars to take their first lead of the night. Estera Tahina with it between the circles. Has it now out high on the left and a screen from Bella. Tahina to Charlissa Leger-Walker. She's going to have it with the dribble. Goes to the left elbow, pulls up from 16. It's short, no good. Bella Murikatete, a rebound, but can't get the putback. Everything but the finish, and the rebound comes down this time to Hollingworth. Now Gonzaga with it. The ball goes to Kaylynne Truong over to the right-hand side. Now into the far corner to Kaylee. She brings it back out to the high post. Now Kaylynne Truong back with it. Has it in the corner, puts one up from 18. In and out, no good. Rebound fought for. Gonzaga has it, and they will get a second opportunity. Back out a 3 this time from Kaylynne Truong, and that one's good. So Kaylynne Truong got another crack at it, and she buries the 3 and now has 5 points. 3 minutes left to play before halftime, and it's 24-21 Gonzaga. Beyonce B receives a pass from Charlissa Leger-Walker, started to penetrate, then pulls it back out. Now to be Charlisse out high on the left, getting the screen from B. Feeds it into the corner. Ella Villa for 3, got it! Ella Villa, how about her first half? She continues to light it up early on for the Cougars and has 10, and we're even again. It's now 24 apiece. 2.5 left to play in the second quarter. With it is Kaylynne Truong out to the top of the key. Hybens has it now right in the paint. All the way back out to the top again to Kaylynne Truong. Shot clock at 10. Kaylee now with Bella on her on the switch. Sends it into the corner. Driving into the lane, putting up a shot from 7. Off the side of the rim, it won't go for Stokes. Tahina there to clean up the rebound, and the Cougars another opportunity to take the lead. Ella Villa transition 3, in, out, stays out as it bounced one last time on the left side of the rim and popped loose, and Gonzaga down with the rebound. Now they've got it in front court. Stokes going to drive in against B. B held her ground. Stokes is there, then it's blocked away by B. And then another block from Washington State. And this time they're going to rule it a jump ball on the possession arrow to Washington State. So the Cougars clamping down defensively once again. They've allowed only 2 field goals so far here in the second quarter. And only 5 points in 8 minutes and 11 seconds of action. And with the score tied at 24 apiece, it should be Washington State ball, right? The arrow's the Cougars. It will be Washington State basketball. Gonzaga almost got away with one, but no, it's Cougar basketball. So now Washington State will take it, and they'll need to bring it the length of the court. For Gonzaga, why not? If they're going to give it to you, take it. But it is Washington State's ball as they get it off the arrow. Now the Cougars with it in front court. Tahina with it, circles over to the right, gives it to Geneville left-hand side, and it's going to be another illegal screen. This one going to be called against Bella Murikatete. It's going to be her first. Cougars have come back to tie things up on a couple of occasions here in the second quarter. Have had a number of opportunities to take their first lead, but haven't yet. Still 90 seconds left to play before intermission. With the ball is Gonzaga's. It's Esther Little with it at the free throw line. Penetrates in, but too much traffic to do much with it, so brings it back out to Kaylynne Truong. Truong getting a screen, has it at the left wing, lets a three go, and that one's going to go high off the rim, no good. Battle for the rebound. Bella was going up for it, got banged into, and they're going to call the foul on Hollingsworth. That's going to be her first. Still not to the bonus yet, so the Cougars will have it with yet another opportunity to grab their first lead, this time with 69 seconds to play before halftime. Ella Villa's been the scoring leader for the Cougars so far tonight. She'll bring it across the timeline. She starts to make her way in, puts up the floater, won't go. Ball poked by Bella Mercatete out of one Gonzaga player's hands, but into another. And Gonzaga again with it in this 24-all tie. Truong giving it out to the top of the key to Hollingsworth. Now to the left-hand side to Maxwell. Maxwell working against Jenna Villa. She'll pull up on Maxwell, but that one's short, no good. Rebound to Hollingsworth, and she's going to put it up and in. Hollingsworth's got 4. It's a 2-point lead for Gonzaga. And now the Cougars, with just a second difference between the first half clock and the shot clock, can play for the final shot of the first half. 26-24 Gonzaga. Gonzaga led early by 9, but the Cougars have come back to tie. Now that last basket has given Gonzaga a 2-point lead. Villa to B, she feeds it inside to Bella Mercatete. Double team, still tries to get off a shot. A foul's gonna be whistled, and it's gonna go against Brenna Maxwell. She'll pick up her first, so Bella to the free throw line with 5.9 seconds remaining. We're in this first half of action, and it's been a rugged affair, a little bit of a sloppy affair, but some really tenacious defense being played on both sides. And now Bella to the free throw line for her first of 2, and that one's off the mark, no good. Bella led the Cougars in scoring the first game out. 1 of 5 Cougars getting to double digits. Now Bella's second free throw, that one's up and good, so it's now a 1-point game. Bella's got 3, and it's a 26-25 Gonzaga lead with 5.9 left. Kaylynne Truong to the midcourt stripe, keeps going, looks to pass off, gives to Maxwell. Maxwell gonna try and get off a shot, does at the buzzer, but it hangs on the rim and falls off. So with that, it'll be a 1-point game at the break. We are 20 minutes through. Again, nothing easy, especially in that second quarter. Cougars outscored Gonzaga. Washington State had only 12 points in the quarter, but Gonzaga had only 7. And at the end of one in a low-scoring defensive affair, it's Gonzaga 26, Washington State 25, and we're back with the halftime show. It's next. This is Cougar basketball. Point Gonzaga lead, and we'll see how this one plays out as we go into the final 20 minutes of this one between Washington State and Gonzaga. Again, the Cougars back in action on Sunday. They'll be hosting Idaho State, and after 2 straight games on the road to open up the season, Gonzaga will be at home on Sunday. They will get Toledo to open up the home portion of their schedule. All right, the Cougs will be back out with their same starters. Gonzaga will have their same starters as well, and we get the second half underway here from Pullman. Gonzaga to start with the basketball. All right, it'll be the Zags with it. Jim gives it out to the top of the key. With it there, Kaylynne Truong to Maxwell, who puts up a 3. That's going to go off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound down to Beyonce B. Washington State back across the timeline. Floats a pass up to Charlissa Leger-Walker, does to Hina. Now Beyonce B over to Tahina out high on the right. She wants the screen, or actually wants Beyonce to go over and take a pass at the head of the key. Now to Charlissa Leger-Walker. Starts to penetrate in, all the way to the hoop, lays it up and in with the left hand, and there is your first Cougar lead of the night. Charlissa Leger-Walker's got a half a dozen, and the Cougars now leading 27-26, scoring the first 2 of the second half. Ejim left of the paint, working against Mercatete. Brings it back out to the top of the key to Kaylynne Truong. Truong around a screen now from Ejim. Circles over to the right side of the paint. Nowhere to maneuver, so all the way back out to the 3-point line. Now Hollingsworth with it, 2 left on the shot clock, and they're going to be bailed out on a fail. It'll be Beyonce B picking up her second on a little bump out at the top of the key, and that'll be her second personal. All right, so 20 on the shot clock for Gonzaga as they will inbound. Kaylynne Truong set to bring it in. Will do so to Maxwell. Baseline jumper from 16, in and out and stays out. Beyonce B and Hollingsworth get tied up. That's going to be a jump ball, and the possession arrow will rest with Washington State. Gonzaga had the ball to start the second half, so on the alternating possession arrow becomes now the Cougars' arrow, and they will bring it into front court, leading by a point. Tahina to Wallach, left-hand side. Into the corner to Tahina. Now she's got a three-point line right out in front of the Cougar bench. Starts down towards the corner. Out to the top of the key to Charlissa Leger-Walker. Penetrates in. And we're going to have a hand check called on Gonzaga. That'll be called on Kaylynne Truong. That's going to be her second personal. And it's the first against the Zags here in the second half. Inbounds pass will come in from Estera Tahina. Finds Murikatete right back to Tahina. 3 in the corner. Got it! Corner pocket from Estera Tahina. She's got 7. The Cougars have scored the first 5. And it's a 30-26 Washington State lead. Kaylynne Truong goes to Ejim at the high post. Over to the left-hand side to this time Kaylynne Truong. Her shot from 17. That one altered by the Cougar defense of Tara Wallach. The Cougars back across the timeline with numbers. Tahina just inside the free throw line finds Charlissa Leger-Walker, but Ejim comes from behind to get the block. And now Gonzaga back into forecourt. 3 in transition, in and out. It is around and out. No good for Kaylynne Truong. Rebound to Washington State. Charlissa Leger-Walker up the sideline, all the way to the base. Got around the defender, but left the layup just a little bit short. And now it'll be Ejim down with the rebound. Kaylynne Truong the other way for Gonzaga. Goes left-hand side, ball poked away. Tara Wallach has it. Feeds it ahead to Bella Murikatete. Puts it up high off the glass, but got going too fast and couldn't get the quality layup. Instead, Gonzaga down with the rebound and the other way. Now Ejim from the free throw line will hit it from 14. Well, she's got 12 now, and the Cougar leads at a couple, 30-28. 7:12 left to play, third quarter action. Right side, Wallach feeds it inside to Charlissa Leger-Walker. Foul called. It'll go on Kaylynne Truong. I have her down now for her third personal, and that's what it's going to be, her third. Don't think they ever got Charlisse into the act of shooting, so the Cougars will inbound on the baseline. Meanwhile, with 3 personals, Kaylynne's going to check out. In for her will come Callie Stokes. Bella Murikatete out, Jenna Villa in for her. Inbounds pass to Jenna. Starts in, crossover move, puts it up. You can count it! And a chance at a 3-point play for the freshman. Foul whistled against Gonzaga and against Kaylynne Truong. And as soon as she enters the game, the freshman from Arlington, Washington, on the inbounds pass, the off-balance scoop to the hoop, and it found nothing but the bottom of the net. So Jenna Villa to try and complete the 3-point play. Free throw up, that one's good. The Cougars tack 3 more onto their lead, and it's 33-28. 3 minutes gone by here in the third quarter. With the ball is Ejim, looking to try and find Maxwell. She does. Now it goes over to the left-hand side to Stokes. Goes to Hollingsworth at the high post, working against Beyonce B. Beyonce ripping away, losing it as Hollingsworth, but she finds the loose change, and Gonzaga keeps it. Shot clock go down to 7. Deep 2 from about 19, and hitting is Yvonne Ejim. So she's got 14, has all 4 of the Gonzaga points in the second half, and it's 33-30. Jenna Villa now with it out at the left-hand side, out high on the left. Now gives it to Tahina. Over to Wallach, right back to AT at the 3-point arc. AT penetrates, pulls up, 1 from 14 is off the back of the rim, rolls off. Rebound down to Hollingsworth. Now Kaylynne Truong the other way for Gonzaga. Scoops it back out to Maxwell, who goes in, puts it up off the glass, and that'll be the first field goal of the night for Brenna Maxwell. She's got 4, and it's a 1-point game. Back the other way will come Washington State, and this time it'll be a travel in transition against Charlissa Leger-Walker. He's trying to get a pass off on the left-hand side and saw a defender coming, then tried to keep the basketball and was called for the extra step. Ella Villa will check in. She'll come in for Charlisse. 6:01 left to play here in the third. It's Washington State 33, Gonzaga 32, and now right before we get the ball to come in, Alex Colville's going to jump off the bench and give Tara Wallach a break. So the 5 on the court for the Cougars is Tahina, Ella Villa, Jenna Villa, Beyonce B, and Alex Colville. For the Zags, it's Hollingsworth, Kaylynne Truong. Also out there is Stokes, Ejim, and Brenna Maxwell. And we've got a foul away from the ball. That one's going to go on Colville. She'll pick up her second. And it'll be Gonzaga's ball to inbound. Second foul of the quarter on Washington State. The Zags inbound it. Comes to Hollingsworth, into the corner to Truong, who fires up a 3, and that one good from Kaylynne Truong. Second triple tonight. She's got 8 points, and we've got a timeout taken by Washington State. So that'll become the first media break here in the second half. Cougars took the lead, built it to as many as 4, but now Gonzaga on just a little bit of a spurt. As a matter of fact, they've scored 7 in a row, and it's now a 35-33 Gonzaga lead. Cougars call timeout. We'll take it with them with 5:46 left to play third quarter. It's Washington State and Gonzaga. Regional rivalry, Zags by a couple, 35-33. You're listening to Cougar Basketball from Learfield. Well, we welcome you back here again to Beasley Coliseum on the campus of Washington State University. Cougars took a 5-point lead here early in the second half with the last 7 to Gonzaga's. They have scored the last 7 points and now a 35-33 Gonzaga lead. So a couple of lead changes to go along with what has been so far 4 ties in the contest. And the Cougars will have it on offense after a timeout taken by Cammie Etheridge. Ella Villa across the timeline for Washington State. She led the Cougars with 10 points in the first half. Colville now at the top of the key, hands to Jenna Villa. Jenna fakes the 3, now we'll bring it back to the top and we'll hand off this time to Ella Villa. She penetrates in, finds a wide open Alex Colville who will get the layup, and the Cougars have evened things up for a 5th time this evening. It's now 35 apiece. 5 1/4 left to play in the third. Pass over to the left side to Kaylynne Truong. It's a screen from Ejim. She now has it in the corner. Goes baseline. Beyonce B comes over for help. That shot left short. Beyonce down at the rebound, and a rebounding foul going to be whistled on Ejim. She's going to pick up her 3rd personal. Kaylynne Truong already with 3 for Gonzaga. Now Ejim's got 3. And with still 5:01 left to play in the third quarter, they're going to send her to the bench. Meanwhile, Esther Little is checked in. Hollingsworth back in as well. 5:01 left to play in the third. We had our media timeout for a coach's timeout. Now with our next whistle, we'll get the under 5 media timeout here in the third quarter. Cougars are bringing across, even at 35 apiece. Ella Villa to Estera Tahina. Tahina, left-hand side to Jenna Villa, back out top to Tahina. AT with the dribble, gives to Ella Villa. Ella gonna penetrate in, all the way to the hoop. That one left a little bit short. Flying in after the rebound, though, is Beyonce B. She will be tied up, and it will be Gonzaga basketball when we return. So that becomes the media timeout for the under 5 with 4:39 left to play in the quarter. We'll tie here at Beasley Coliseum, 2022-2023 Pac-12 champions for winning that Pac-12 tournament. Of course, another year logged in on the NCAA tournament banner as well after getting to the NCAAs last year. And two teams that look to be playing in March and some meaningful basketball in March, scoring off against one another here in the non-conference. Kaylynne Truong's got it for Gonzaga. Their ball out of the timeout. She's got it out high on the left with Beyonce B out on her. Gonna try and penetrate in, can't find anything, so now comes back out to the perimeter. Now they feed it inside to Hollingsworth. She's double teamed, loses it out of bounds, and it will be Washington State ball. Well, the turnovers had stabilized a little bit, but that'll go down as the 13th now for Gonzaga compared to 16 for Washington State. But again, most of those for both teams coming back in the opening 20 minutes. Cougars with it, a chance to reclaim the lead. Oh, it's a pass from Charlissa Leger-Walker, and it was Ella Villa with just about a layup, but just lost handle on it and ends up going out of bounds, and it will be Gonzaga basketball. Zags will make a substitution. Kaylynne Truong back into the contest, so she's going to play with her 3 personal. She's got 3, and so too does Yvonne Ejim for Gonzaga. You know, a little hand check called on Estera Tahina. No Cougar with 3 fouls yet. They do have a few with a couple, and now Estera Tahina has her first. Comes the third against Washington State in the quarter with 3:54 left to play. Here's the shot from this time Hollingsworth, and it's around and out. Down with the rebounds, Bella Murikatete. The Cougars again, another opportunity to try and take the lead. With it, Charlissa Leger-Walker out high on the left, fires it inside to Tahina, now finds Beyonce B. Back out it comes to the 3-point line to Tahina. Fakes to the right, goes to the left, now around to Murikatete's screen. Tried to pass it off, the ball is loose. Bella dives in after. It's going to be a jump ball as she is in the fray with a couple of members of Gonzaga, and this time the arrow will point to Washington State. They'll keep the shot clock where it's at. That's 11, 3.5 left to play in the third quarter, and it's a 35 all contest. Inbounds pass from Ella Villa all the way out to the top to Beyonce B. Beyonce gives it to Ella Villa. She'll fire a 3 from the top of the key off the side of the rim. Ball is loose. Maxwell juggled it a bit but comes away with it. And now it'll be Gonzaga's ball to bring into front court. Kaylynne Truong feeds it to Maxwell, right back to Truong. Has it in the corner. Now to Maxwell. Her shot from the wing for 3 is good for Brenna Maxwell. So she has her first 3 of the night, has 7 points, and Gonzaga now up 38-35. The Cougars with it on offense. Tahina weaves her way through traffic, kicks it out. Charlissa Leger-Walker for 3, got it! That's an answer from Charlisse. And we are even. 9 now for Charlissa Leger-Walker, and it's 38 aside, 2:45 left to play in the third. Kaylynne Truong at the free throw line, brings it back out high to Hollingsworth. Now over to Maxwell, Charlissa Leger-Walker on her. Now into the corner it goes. They feed it inside. A little bit of a mismatch down there, but Ella Villa holds her own. Then a shot put up off the top of the backboard, no good. Then as the Cougars try and haul away the rebound, it ends up off of Washington State and will end up being Gonzaga basketball. 3 left on the shot clock here for Gonzaga as their shot never did hit iron. And we've got 2:25 left, so try not to give up anything easy off the inbounds pass here for Washington State. Sure, Gonzaga notices that there's only 3 left on the shot clock. They do, the coaching staff reminding them. Comes in, shot blocked away that time by Beyonce B. The Cougars on the run the other way in a 2-on-1. Behind the back pass from Charlissa Leger-Walker, but Ella Villa can't hold it, but she keeps possession. Now Tahina wide open from 12, that one good. And the Cougars are rotating back in front. AT's got 9, it's 40-38 Washington State. 2 minutes and counting left to play in the third quarter. Now Kaylynne Truong around the screen, puts one up from 17 and hits. So Kaylynne Truong with the bucket. She now has 5, and we're tied for a 7th time tonight. 40 apiece, 1:47 and counting left to play in the third. Tahina goes to Bella Makatete. Inside on the give and go to Tahina. A friendly bounce and rolls home for a second straight ball game. AT to double digits. She's got 11. The Cougars back in front. It's 42-40. Now Truong with it for the Zags, and she'll hit a 3. Kaylynne Truong with a 3-pointer. She's got 8. Gonzaga back in front now. 43-42, minute 15 left to play, third quarter. Charlissa Leger-Walker out in front of us at the 3-point arc. On her is Truong. B comes over for the screen. Now Charlisse doubled, finds Beyonce B. Hits a cutting Bella Makatete for a wide open layup. She'll connect. The Cougars back in front as we seesaw back and forth, and we're into the final minute of the third quarter. With the ball is Little, will hand off to Truong at the 3-point line. Truong to the free throw line, looking to try and get it away. Can't. Ball off the knee of a Gonzaga Bulldog. Ball is loose. There to come away with the Beyonce B. Now the Cougars back up into front court. Charlissa Leger-Walker in a 3-on-3. A little blow-by on Brenna Maxwell, and she'll draw the foul, and she'll head to the free throw line. Brenna Maxwell's second foul, and it will send Charlissa Leger-Walker to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Charlisse trying to become the third Cougar to double digits. 10 of them all in the first half for Villa. Now Tahina's got 11, and Charlisse with 9 to the free throw line to shoot 2. 44-43 here in Pullman. We've had 5 lead changes to go along with 7 ties so far here tonight. And the Cougars now looking to add to a 1-point lead with 35.2 left. Charlissa Leger-Walker, again, into her senior season now, and her first free throw's up and good, so she does indeed become the third Cougar to double digits. She's got 10, 2-point Cougar lead. And now the second from Charlisse, also perfect. She's got 11. The Cougar leads 46-43 with just over a half a minute to play in the third. Kaylynne Truong across the timeline. 4 to 5 seconds between shot clock and the third quarter clock. Truong to Ejim. Ejim's got it in the corner. Back out to Truong with 16 left to shoot. Truong gonna let a 3 go. It's on its way and off the heel of the rim, no good. That's out of bounds to Washington State. Cougars also with 14.2 remaining, and a chance to try and get some points here at the end of the quarter. We'll have a couple of substitutions. Kaylynne Truong with her 3 personals is going to check out. A little surprised Ejim isn't checking out as well since she's got 3. But instead it's going to be Claire O'Connor who checks out for the Zags. And actually now Kaylynne Truong is going to stay in the game. So the players that have 3 are actually staying in here for the final 14.2. All right, inbounds pass comes to Jenna Villa, and they're going to call her for an over and back. So that gives it back over to the Zags, and now they'll get one last chance to score. In will come Kaylynne Truong now for the scoring opportunity. She checks back in. Also back in is Hollingsworth. Again, 13.3 left to play here. Inbounds pass will come to Kaylynne. She now has it across the timeline to Kaylee. Down to 8 seconds left to play in the quarter. Working against Jenna Villa, down to 5 seconds. Trying to find some room, penetrates in. Tries to get a shot, but it's stripped away by Terrell Wallach. And we are through 3 quarters in Pullman. Terrell Wallach getting it done on the defensive end, making sure Gonzaga can't get off a shot. With 10 minutes to play in Pullman, it's still a 1 that we could see from these 2 teams as the season moves along. But you like defense and you like grit and you like getting in each other's faces. We've had that tonight. Again, 46-43 Washington State. 5 lead changes, 7 ties, and the Cougars with a 3-point lead going into the final 10 minutes. Gonzaga will start the fourth quarter with the basketball as we get the final 10 underway. Kaylynne Truong gets a screen from Hollingsworth. We'll kick it off to Ejim, who now hands it to Kaylynne Truong. Kaylynne Truong's got Charlissa Leger-Walker on her. Now Ejim with it. Working against Bella. It's going to pull up from about 17. That one's off the side of the rim, no good. And the rebound will come down to Charlissa Leger-Walker. She'll start it up court for Washington State. Cougars have led by as many as 5. A chance for a little separation here, and Ella Villa gonna have a charge fouled against her defender. That was Claire O'Connor trying to stick with Ella, but she's gonna be whistled for a hand check. First personal on Claire O'Connor. And it will be Bulldogs on the defensive end. Cougars to inbound on the baseline. Out it will come to Tara Wallach at the top of the key. Now to Ella Villa. Has it out high on the right to Charlissa Leger-Walker. No, instead tries to feed it inside, but that's off the fingertips of a Cougar and out of bounds. Again, a lot of these turnovers from the first half, but neither team will like their turnover at the end of the night. That's now 19 for Washington State, 15 so far for Gonzaga. Kaylynne Truong's got it in the corner. Brings it out to the wing with Hollingsworth coming over for the screen. Now Tara Wallach switches on her. Now we've got a foul called on Ella Villas. She was a little bit of a mismatch, giving up some height to Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth at 6'3". Meanwhile, Ella is listed as 5'8", so giving up a good 7 inches there. And just kind of impeded her progress, so with that, a foul whistled on Ella. That'll be her second personal. All right, the ball will be brought in by Gonzaga here. Just about a minute gone by in the fourth. Still no scoring yet in the quarter. It's still Washington State by 3, 46-43. And now a foul called on Jenna Ville. Cougar fans don't like it. Jenna's gonna pick up her first. Second against the Cougars, so a couple of quick nickel-dimers against Washington State. And the inbounds pass for Gonzaga comes in. Kaylynne Truong at the three-point line with Estera Tahina on her. Feeds it inside to Ejim, working against Tara Wallach. Steps back, puts one up from 12, and it rattles off no good. Rebound down to Charlissa Leger-Walker, and now a little nickel-dime foul called on Kaylynne Truong, I guess, to even things up a little bit. So if the Cougar fans are upset about that foul call, I don't know if Kaylynne Truong did much either, but 3 fouls early on in this quarter where there wasn't a whole lot of contact, but nonetheless, 2 against Gonzaga, 2 against Washington State, so 4 fouls already in the quarter, so free throws might be a big part of this one down the stretch. Meanwhile, for Charlissa Leger-Walker, almost lost the basketball, now did. Gonzaga with it. Not quite a jailbreak the other way, but it's 4 on 3. Cougars getting back defensively, but Kaylynne Truong left open for a 3, but misses. And the rebound down to Tara Wallach, so the Cougars are able to hold on to the 3-point lead, and almost 2 minutes gone by now here in the fourth quarter. Charlissa Leger-Walker with it. She'll draw a double team, tries to dribble around it. Now hits a cutting Tara Wallach all the way down near the hoop, and she puts it up and in. So Tara Wallach with her first 2 points of the night, and the Cougars have matched their biggest lead. They're up by 5. Just under 8 minutes left to play in the basketball game. Kaylynne Truong, a 3 on the other end off the heel of the rim. Rebound down to Estera Tahina, feeds it ahead to Charlissa Leger-Walker. She's got it now left of the paint. Will pull it on the brakes and wait for everybody else to catch up. Finds Bell at the top of the key. She fires it inside to Tara Wallach. Shot won't go, but a foul whistled. Foul gonna go on Kaylynne Truong. Will be the 3rd member of Gonzaga to pick up 3 fouls. That'll be her 3rd personal. So Kaylynne Truong now has 3. Meanwhile, to the foul line, Tara Wallach had her first 2 points on a layup not too long ago. And now ready for her first free throw, which is snapped up there. That one's good. She's got 3. Despite having only the 3 points, 7 big boards for Tara Wallach so far tonight. And now the next free throw. That one on its way in good as well. She's got 4, the first 4 of the quarter to the Cougars. And they're now up 7, 50-43. Hollingsworth goes to Maxwell at the right wing. Now back out it comes to Hollingsworth. To Ejim now at the 3-point line. Now to Kaylynne Truong. She'll go baseline, circles into the paint. No room to maneuver. Gets it inside to Ejim. That shot will not go. Ball tipped, and there to secure it will be Bella Murukatete for Washington State. So again, the Cougars have the only 4 points in the quarter so far as Tahina drives in. Got around the defender, can't hit with the right hand. Wallach with the rebound, can't hit it. Now Murukatete coming down, and it's going to be a rebounding foul against Gonzaga. So the Cougars attacking the glass will have another opportunity and Ejim has now picked up her 4th personal. So Ejim now has 4 personals with 6:56 remaining. Gonzaga wants a timeout. They haven't scored yet in the quarter. Cougars have only scored 4 in the 4th, but their 3-point lead has been expanded, and it's their biggest lead of the night. Washington State 50, Gonzaga 43. This becomes a media break, so we'll come back to take you the rest of the way with 6:56 remaining. All right, the Cougars will inbound as it will come into Bella Murukatete. She'll hand off to Jenna Villa. 3-pointer off the timeout is going to be off the mark, no good. And the rebound comes down to Kaylynne Truong of Gonzaga. Up to Kaylynne Truong. She now gives it back to Kaylynne, now to Kaylynne. Kaylynne's got to top the key, lets a 3 fly. I don't know if Walk got a piece of it or not, but it ends up short. And Charlissa Leger-Walker comes away with the rebound. Pushes the action, penetrates to the hoop. You can count the basket. And a chance at a 3-point play for the senior out of New Zealand. Charlissa Leger-Walker has steadily built her total up tonight, and it's now out to 13 on the evening. And with 6:33 remaining, a chance to give the Cougars their first double-digit lead of the night, and she does. She's a perfect 3 for 3 from the line. So Charlisse now with 14. Ejim, they can't wait much longer. And as a matter of fact, Lisa Fortier says, I can't wait any longer. She's back in with her 4 personals. 6:33 remaining, and it's the Cougs by 10. Kaylynne Truong has it in the corner, feeds it in low to Ejim, who flashed, and she's wide open to put it up and in. So she's got 16, and the Cougar lead down to 8, 53-45. 6 1/4 left to play in Pullman on this Thursday night. Charlissa Leger-Walker top of the key. Bella Murukatete vacates. Charlisse going to penetrate in, got around the defender, scoops it up, hangs on the rim and falls off. Rebound comes down to Hybens for Gonzaga. Now it's Kaylynne Truong finding Hybens. She goes inside to Ejim, and she gets 2 more. So Ejim back onto the court and making an immediate impact, scoring the last 4 for Gonzaga and bringing them back to within 6 after the Cougars had pushed their lead out to double digits for the first time tonight. 5:40 and counting, and the Cougars working with a 6-point advantage. Tahina off a Murukatete screen. Into the lane, puts up a floater, won't go. Ball's loose, we've got a foul whistled, and it's gonna go against Utah, or against Gonzaga, I should say. Said Utah because I saw Brenna Maxwell. I'm so used to seeing her in the red of Utah, but of course she's transferred here to Gonzaga. Foul was not on Maxwell. By the way, that foul on Yvonne Ejim. She's got 5. I think they're letting her know that she's got 5 personals, and she's been disqualified. She's still lined up on the free throw line. Meanwhile, Lisa Fortier wanting to know, are you sure that was on Ejim? And she's talking with Lisa Jones, the veteran official. Lisa Jones saying it was on Ejim, and she has been disqualified. That's her 5th personal. So again, Ejim is fouled out. She has to be replaced. Just got the last 4 points for Gonzaga. And again, I don't think you can fault Lisa Fortier. You saw the impact she had as soon as she came in, but again, they were down 10 and the Cougars were rolling. I think she had to bring her back in. And then on a ball that got loose, she's whistled for a tough luck foul, and she's gonna foul out with 18 points. So the leading scorer for Gonzaga has fouled out. Meanwhile, for Charlissa Leger-Walker, her last points, which gave her 14, now moves her all the way up into a tie for 7th all-time. Marsha Miles and Angie Miller, the 2 players that she is tied with. The next player on the list, an even 1,500 points in their career, and that was Joni Gray. All right, Murukatete hit the first free throw, now finds the second one as well, so 2 for 2 from the line. The lead is 8 for Washington State, 55-47. Now Kaylynne Truong with it for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Out to the top to Kaylynne Truong. Her 3's well off the mark, no good. Rebound comes down to Hybens. Looking for a jump ball is what Bella wanted, but they're instead going to call the foul on Bella, and that's going to be her 2nd personal. Mentioned Ejim is fouled out. There is not a Cougar with more than 2 fouls out there, so they don't have any foul trouble, at least as of now, with 5:17 to play. Now another foul whistled, and as I say that, it's Ella Villa, the first Cougar to collect her third as she gets a call for a hold on a player trying to come off a screen. And with those early fouls that we had in the quarter, it means that the next foul will put Gonzaga into the bonus. Cougars already into the bonus, so we said early on with those early fouls that the free throw line may play important. Each team in the bonus the rest of the way after this. It's Truong getting it inside and wide open down there is Hollingsworth. Somebody lost her, and Hollingsworth gets the easy bucket. So she now has a half a dozen. The lead is at a half a dozen. It's 55-49 Washington State. Tahina to the free throw line. Shoots a pass off to Ella Villa. Now to Charlissa Leger-Walker. Top of the key to Tahina with still 14 left to shoot. Estera Tahina trying to get around one defender, and there's a little touch foul. And that's going to go on Kaylynne Truong, and she now has 4 personals. So Gonzaga in a world of foul trouble. And now we are into the bonus on the Cougar side of things. And it'll be Estera Tahina to the free throw line. Kaylynne Truong going to check out. In for her is going to come Esther Little. Meanwhile, Estera Tahina already with 11 points. Second game for her. She has gotten to double digits. And now she heads to the free throw line to shoot a couple here. AT's first free throw on the way. That's off the mark, no good. Tahina again had 10 against Cal Poly. Meanwhile, 11 so far tonight. Did score 15 against the Bruins in her freshman campaign. Now her second free throw. This one on the way. That one's up and good. So Tahina goes 1 out of 2 from the line. So she now has a dozen, and the Cougar lead is 7 with 4:40 left to play. Kaylynne Truong has it in front court for Gonzaga. Out in front of the Bulldog bench. Now takes it with the left-handed dribble out to the top of the key. Little driving down the left side of the lane. Tries to find Hollingsworth. Getting a hand on it was Beyonce. Now the ball loose, and on the floor is Estera Tahina. She gets a pass off, and the Cougars will keep possession. Ella Villa into front court and finds Tahina, who found that loose change. She's got it over on the far sideline. Little stop-and-go move all the way into the hoop. Tries to find Beyonce, and Beyonce has it now. Over to Charlissa Leger-Walker at the three-point arc. Takes it down, penetrates into the lane, tries to kick off to a teammate, but it's stolen away by Gonzaga. Now Gonzaga the other way. Kaylynne Truong going to put up a shot. Great defense by Ella Villa, who will stop the forward momentum of the Gonzaga player. It is off of Villa and out of bounds, and it'll be Gonzaga basketball. 3:57 remaining in Pullman. It's the Cougars on top, 56-49. Meanwhile, the inbounds pass coming in. With it's going to be Kaylynne Truong, who is checked back in. She's got it now at the top of the key, puts one up from the free throw line. That one's off the mark, no good. And now a late whistle called on Bella Muricatete. Gonna say that she got her with the body. Whether it was on the shot or after the shot makes no difference, because the Cougars are already over the limit, and Gonzaga to the foul line to shoot 2. Kaylynne Truong will head to the stripe to shoot a pair of free throws. And her first one's up and good. So she's got 9. Lead now at 6, 56-50. 3:49 left to play here in the fourth quarter. Next free throw from Kaylynne Truong, also good, and she now has 10. And a timeout taken by Gonzaga. They'll use their second. So 2 timeouts left for Lisa Fortier. 3 left for Cammie Etheridge. It's a 30-second timeout, so again, we'll keep things here. The Cougars have not hit a field goal in a little over 2.5 minutes, but they have had some free throws. And with those free throws, still a 5-point advantage, 56-51. Gonzaga led by as many as 9 back in the first quarter. Gonzaga by 1 at halftime. The Cougars turned that into a 3-point lead at the end of 3. And so far here in the fourth quarter, 10-8 in favor of Washington State here in the fourth quarter. So 56-51 our score. Maybe some pressure here from Gonzaga out of the timeout. Certainly looking like they're going to set up some pressure. Looks like it might be a 2-2-1 full court press here from Gonzaga. Beyonce will trigger it in for the Cougars. She'll bring it into Ella Villa. Gives it now to Charlissa Leger-Walker, who starts her way up court. Gets to the midcourt stripe and passes it ahead to Tahina. Tehina doubled, so we'll give it to Charlissa Leger-Walker, then over to Ella Ville, and the Cougars break the pressure. Charlissa Leger-Walker getting a screen from Bella Muricatete. Instead goes the other way to the right, knifes her way through traffic and puts it up and in. So 16 now for Charlissa Leger-Walker. And now what do we have on a whistle on this end? We've got, believe, maybe a clock issue. They want 3 more seconds put on the clock, so we're at 3:28. Or no, 3:25. The shot clock never started is what the problem was, I guess. And so they inbounded and then 2 seconds never clicked off. Not sure. So in any case, Gonzaga has it as they put the shot clock down to 28 as they brought it in. In any case, with it, Kaylynne Truong starts to penetrate in, finds it to the free throw line. Hybens will rattle home a free throw line jumper for her first 2 points of the night. 58-53 Washington State, just over 3 minutes to play. Charlissa Leger-Walker across the timeline, gives it out to AT, back over to Charlisse. She's got it at the right wing for the Cougars, 3-point line extended. 15 now left on the shot clock. Charlisse to the top of the key, again penetrates it in, puts up a shot with the left hand, won't go, and she'll head to the free throw line. Charlisse again with those 16 points, now clear of that tie for 7th, and now sits in 7th alone all time on the Cougar scoring list. In case you're wondering, the all-time leading scorer is Borislava Aristova. She's the only Cougar that's amassed more than 2,000 points in her career. Meanwhile, Charlisse will become just the 6th to get to 1,500. Meanwhile, the free throw rattles around, hangs on the back of the rim, and then falls in. And actually, I guess number 6 has 1,500, so when Charlisse gets there, she'll be the 7th. So now the second free throw. You like that math, Bob? Second free throw good as well for Charlissa Leger-Walker. So she hits a couple. It's 60-53, and Charlisse now with 18 on the night. All right, Kaylynne Truong's got it in the corner. Brings it back out to the wing with 2:40 left to play in the 4th. With it at the left wing will be Little. Little gives to Maxwell, and out of the right wing, and a 3 up and good from Kaylynne Truong. So she'll hit her 3rd 3 and has 11 points. It's a 4-point Cougar lead with 2:20 left to play. Pass goes inside to Bella. Can't finish inside, but a foul whistled on Gonzaga. This one might go on Kaylynne Truong, and does. Ejim has already fouled out for Gonzaga, and now both of the Truong players for Gonzaga with 4 fouls apiece. So they've got no wiggle room left. 2:21 left to play in the contest, and the Cougars with a 4-point lead. Bella Muricatete to the free throw line. First one on this trip, off the mark, no good. She's got 7 so far. Cougs now 12 out of 15 from the line tonight. And now the next free throw from Bella, as she is 3 for 5 herself. That free throw is gonna fall in. So she gets 1, and it's a 5-point Cougar lead with now under 2:20 to play. Kaylynne Truong at the left wing, 3-point line extended, out to the top of the key to Kaylynne Truong. Goes inside with it to Hybens. Her shot won't go. Gets her own rebound. Can't get the second shot to go either. And then it ends up out of bounds to Washington State. Meanwhile, Bella Muricatete hit the deck hard, but she says she's okay. She's being helped up by her teammates. So Hybens had a couple of chances, but couldn't convert in low. So now the Cougars with it with 2 minutes left to play on our basketball game. They've got the 5-point lead and the ball. Charlissa Leger-Walker floats a pass to Ella Ville into front court, and the Cougars now in forecourt with under 2 minutes to play. 18 to Charlisse with 15 left on the shot clock. Around one defender, has it at the free throw line, starts to back away in the paint, gets up a shot, no good, it's blocked away. Charlisse gets it back though. 5 left to shoot, resets, 3 on the way off the back of the rim, no good. And the rebound down to Kaylynne Truong. 3 on 2 the other way, Kaylee's got it. Ball loose, and now we're gonna have a foul on Bella Muricatete. So Bella gonna pick up her 4th personal, and she becomes the first Cougar with 4. So Bella Muricatete now with 4. And it's gonna send Kaylynne Truong to the free throw line to shoot 2. The one bad thing, obviously Gonzaga a chance here with only 90 seconds left on the clock to try and pick up some points with the clock stopped. All right, the free throw from Truong on its way and good. Kaylynne Truong so far on the night. 3 of 3 from the line, now has 13 points. Now ready for her next free throw. That one's gonna go in and out and stay out. Meanwhile, ball loose. Bella couldn't hold on to it, and it's gonna be Gonzaga basketball. 1:29 left to play now. Gonzaga 1 out of 2 from the line, but now an extra possession with 1:29 left. Meanwhile, the ball tipped as it comes in by Estera Tahina, and then Kaylynne Truong trying to pull off a balancing act at the mid-court stripe. Ends up ultimately with a travel whistled against her. If it wasn't a travel, I think it was going to be over and back either way. But now, after the Cougars give the Zags the extra possession, it comes right back to Washington State on a turnover by Gonzaga. Again, so many turnovers in the opening half from both of these two teams. Again, if you weren't with us in the first half, and again, the defense has been solid throughout, but in the first half we had both teams with what was a number of turnovers, and they have settled down somewhat here in the second half. However, again, that number is going to be too high for both of these two teams. The Cougars with 21 turnovers, and that's now the 17th for Gonzaga. Cami Etheridge took the timeout. The Cougs with 2 timeouts remaining. Gonzaga still with 2 timeouts remaining. If we have a jump ball, the possession arrow would belong to Washington State. Both teams have long been in the bonus, and it's a 4-point lead for the Cougars with, again, 1:27 to play as they inbound it. Now Charlissa Leger-Walker to Beyonce B, right back to Charlisse. Now over to Beyonce B, into the corner. Ella Villa, a 3. Off the iron, no good. Battle for the rebound. Beyonce B comes up with it. They're going to have a jump ball. And the possession arrow, as we just mentioned in the game reset, does belong with Washington State. So the Cougars do have the arrow here. They'll leave it at 19 on the shot clock. And now, should we have another jump ball, it would revert over to Gonzaga. So the Cougars with it as it comes out to Charlissa Leger-Walker. Obviously, as we approach a minute to go, a score on this possession for the Cougars would be huge. Bella gonna go on her way to the lane. Shot up, won't go. She will draw the foul, though, and will head to the free throw line. No, they're gonna call an offensive foul on Bella. That's gonna be her 5th personal, my mistake. So Bella's gonna foul out. Ejim already disqualified on the Gonzaga side of things. Now Bella fouls out with 8 points on the evening. So in comes Tara Wallach, and now the Cougars on the defensive side with a minute to play and leading by 4, but Gonzaga with the basketball. Kaylynne Truong puts up a 3 and will connect. Kaylynne Truong with a 3-pointed shot, and with ice running through her veins, buries that one to bring Gonzaga to within 1. So it's now 61-60 with 53.8 seconds left. Kaylynne Truong's 3 gives her 14 on the evening. And with the 1-point Cougar lead, Gonzaga called the timeout with 53.8 seconds left. Could see the Cougars call a timeout right after this to advance the ball to midcourt. Now they may inbound and bring it to length, but the Cougars, not the team that called the timeout. This timeout was charged to Gonzaga. So if the Cougars want to advance, then they would call the timeout and could advance the ball. 53.8 seconds remaining here. And again, after that 3 from Kaylynne Truong, a 1-point Washington State University lead. As this one coming down to the wire between these two regional rivals. Beyonce B being told she can run the length of the baseline after the made basket if she wants. She'll inbound to Charlissa Leger-Walker. And Charlisse will bring it across the timeline herself. Into front court, kicks off to Ella Villa. Ella now into the lane, will pass it back out to Charlissa Leger-Walker. Looks up at the shot clock, 17 left. Now 40 left in the game clock. Beyonce B with it, will hand off to Charlissa Leger-Walker. Charlisse into the lane, feeds it to Tara Walk, tries to get a pass outside. Ball loose, and now Tahina gonna be called for a foul after Kaylynne Truong took the possession of it. So Tahina will pick up her second. And now it will be Gonzaga to the free throw line with 30.8 seconds remaining. And a chance for Kaylynne Truong on a couple of free throws to try and first tie the game, and if successful there, a chance to try and give Gonzaga the lead back. Kaylynne Truong to the stripe. She's got 11 so far. This is going to be her first free throws of the evening. Out of Houston, Texas, as Kaylynne comes ready for her first free throw. That one on its way and good. So we are even now at 61 aside. And another free throw due for Kaylynne Truong here. She comes set. Free throw is on its way, and that one's up and good. So Gonzaga takes a 62-61 lead. Timeout taken here by Cami Etheridge. Meanwhile, for the Zags, it's been a 6-0 run in the last 61 seconds. Cougars have had some free throws down the stretch, but haven't had a made field goal in a little over 3 minutes. And with 30.8 seconds remaining, also interesting to see how quick the Cougars get into this and whether or not they wait for the time to wind down, whether they go quick, or what exactly the situation will be as far as the ticker is concerned. The shot clock is obviously still up at 30 since we've got 30.8 remaining, but you certainly don't think that comes into play here. But do the Cougars wait until we get down to single-digit seconds? Do they go quick? Do they go first opportunity? Both coaches, Lisa Fortier for Gonzaga and Cami Etheridge for Washington State, being notified that they each have one full timeout remaining. Meanwhile, Lisa Fortier wanted to talk to Kyle Bacon about something. He's going to go over and get explained to something by the referee. And now Charlissa Leger-Walker will inbound here in front of me with 30.8 seconds remaining. Charlisse getting set to inbound. We'll give it to Terrell Walker, right back to Charlissa Leger-Walker. Charlisse has it out high on the right. In the lane she'll go. A little bit of contact. Reverse layup, up and good. So the Cougars do go quick. And Charlisse gets the bucket to give the Cougars the lead back. Timeout taken by Lisa Fortier. So the Cougars back in front, 63-62. And Charlissa Leger-Walker now has 20 points. Now how quick does Gonzaga go trailing by one? Gonzaga has just used their final timeout. The one advantage of going quick in both these situations is that if you're unsuccessful and the other team gets the rebound, you can still foul, and even if they make both free throws, a three would still tie it. So I think you do go quick, just like Washington State did. I think Gonzaga goes quick here. Again, Gonzaga now out of timeout, so they have to be aware of that. The Cougars have one timeout remaining. And so we will see how this plays out. For Washington State, obviously, the tough defense. Try not to foul. And if you get them to miss a shot, go and crash the boards. Meanwhile, Gonzaga going to be looking for a high-quality shot. Again, full timeout here for Lisa Fortier on her final one. Cami's got her one full timeout remaining. We're down to the wire in this one, and I don't know why you wouldn't play these regional rivalries every year in the sport. You're given so many non-conference games. Washington State and Gonzaga should play in both men's and women's basketball every year. And again, it's just something where I think the fans win. And here we go with 22.7 remaining. All right, Kaylynne Truong going to bring it in for Gonzaga here. Can the Cougars get a defensive stop? It comes into Kaylynne Truong with now 20 seconds left. She's going to drive on Hina all the way to the hoop. There's a block shot by Beyonce B. The Cougars come away with it. And then Terrell Wallach got a timeout before Gonzaga was able to foul her. Now that being said, Gonzaga can still foul here, even though the Cougars will advance the ball into front court with 14.2 seconds left. But a big rebound, a good stop. Beyonce B holding her ground on that drive to the hoop, and then the Cougars able to secure the rebound. And now with 14.2 seconds remaining, can they keep possession here? And not only can they keep possession here, But then, if and when fouled, can they knock down a couple of free throws? So again, we're down to 14.2 seconds remaining. And it's going to be Washington State's ball to inbound as we are again out of timeouts. Again, Deonsby with that big defensive stop. And again, another block shot from Deonsby, her third of the night, and now has 8. So 8 total on the season after the 5 in the season opener. Again, mentioned her nearly 2,000 points. She's gotten to 900 rebounds in her career tonight, and now has more than 125 blocks in her career. As we mentioned, Deonsby on the defensive end with the stop. And then Terrell Wallach able to come up with the rebound. All right, Lisa Fortier asking Kyle Bacon, do they have any timeouts left? The answer is no. So the Cougars, again, with 14.2 seconds left. He would want it, I believe, in Charlissa Leger-Walker's hands. All right, Deonsby is going to trigger it in here with 14.2 remaining. Inbounds pass will come in, and it will come to Charlissa Leger-Walker, and she is going to be fouled immediately. Looks like Gonzaga upset because they thought they could have maybe gotten a turnover there. But that being said, the referees are looking to try and give the quick foul because you think that's what Gonzaga wants. Meanwhile, Kaylynne Truong is going to be whistled for the foul here, and now she is fouled out. So Ejim was disqualified well into this fourth quarter as far as his time remaining, and now the second casualty for Gonzaga as Kaylynne Truong has just fouled out of the contest. So she is out with 13 points. Meanwhile, Charlissa Leger-Walker to the free throw line with 2 free throws. 20 points for Charlisse so far, and her first free throw this trip on the way and good. So she's now a perfect 6 for 6 from the line. Gonzaga out of timeouts, so they can't advance the ball. They're going to have to bring it to length. Meanwhile, Charlisse's second free throw on the way, and that one's good as well. She's got 22. It's a 3-point game. Meanwhile, Kaylynne Truong to bring the ball up the timeline. Foul called on Charlissa Leger-Walker. She got into a hand fight with Brenna Maxwell, and it's going to be a foul called on Charlissa Leger-Walker. Well, there is always the conversation up by 3 in the final seconds. Do you foul or do you let them go for 3? That was not an intentional foul by any stretch of the imagination to put Gonzaga at the line, but it is only 2 free throws here. Maxwell, an excellent free throw shooter with 9.7 seconds to go. Her first one's on the way and good. I think you still make this if you're Utah here and then go for the steal. Maxwell ready, second free throw on the way, that one's good, so it is a 1-point game. Now the Cougars looking to inbound. It will come to Charlissa Leger-Walker. She's trying to weave her way through traffic. Now a foul given with 6.7 seconds remaining. That foul will be called on Eliza Hollingsworth, just her second. And now Charlisse to the free throw line again to try and push that Cougar lead back out to 3 once more. And to try and give Gonzaga a 3-point deficit with only 6.7 seconds in the length of the court to go. All right, it will be Charlissa Leger-Walker back to the free throw line. 22 points so far on the evening. And her first free throw this trip on the way and good. And she is now a 23-point score on the night, making it a 2-point Cougar lead. And Charlisse ready for her second free throw. Senior set, free throw on its way. That one's good as well. Cool as a cucumber. She's got 9 of 9 from the line. Gonzaga across the timeline with 3 seconds. With 2 seconds, they'll let one fly, and that one is good from about 30 feet away to send us to overtime. So a 3-point basket at the buzzer, hit by Kaylynne Truong. They will check it, but it certainly seemed as though it was before the horn. I guess the only question that would be, is there any time left? And I don't think there's going to be any time left either, because I think it was in the air when the horn went. And it looks like we're going an extra 5 minutes tonight at Beasley. as 40 minutes not going to be enough. They do double check it. It is good. There is no time remaining, so 5 minutes put back on the clock. And we're going to go to overtime tonight in Pullman. Well, about 2 hours into it, glad to have you with us tonight on the radio side of things on News Talk for the Palouse, AM 1150, KQQQ in Pullman. Kaylynne Truong buries a three from about 30 feet away to send us to overtime, and she now has 17 points. Charlissa Leger-Walker with the 4 clutch free throws at the end now has 24. Again, as we go into overtime, no Bella Murray-Katete for Washington State as she is fouled out. No Yvonne Ejim for Gonzaga and no Kaylynne Truong for Gonzaga. They have both fouled out. And with a 67-all tie, we'll jump it up to find out who gets the first possession of overtime. Both teams winning in the season opener, and now both teams going to extra work in game number 2 of the year, as 40 minutes not enough here on the Palouse. Looks like Alex Colville is going to come into the game. Not sure if that is a specific designation to try and get an extra possession and win the tip, but Alex Colville in to go into the jumper circle. So going to be looking at that. Meanwhile, it's the first overtime in series history between Gonzaga and Washington State. Colville will jump it up for Washington State. Ojukwu will jump it up for Gonzaga. They get ready to put the ball into the air. It's on its way. Washington State will indeed win the opening tip, and we get overtime underway here on the Palouse. Estera Tahina, top of the key. Has it now, 3-point line extended. Each team will get an extra timeout. We'll stay in the bonus on both sides. Ella Villa comes near side. Charlissa Leger-Walker for 3. It's a little bit short, no good. And we've got a foul against Gonzaga here on the rebound. That foul's going to be going on Hybens, so she'll pick up her second personal. And it means free throws for Washington State. And it'll be Alex Colville heading to the free throw line. So Colville to the stripe to shoot 2. She gets ready for her first, on the way and off the mark, no good. Colville, 6'6" freshman out of Missoula, Montana. First 2 free throws of her Cougar career. And now set for her second free throw. On its way, and that one is good. So the Cougars will take a 1-point lead. It's now 68-67. And now it'll be the Gonzaga Bulldogs for their first possession of overtime. Truong to the right-hand side. It goes over there to Esther Little. Little into the left of the paint. Brings it back outside to Truong. Truong going to take it with her shoulder down into the lane. Puts up a shot. It won't go, but they're going to call the foul on Ella Villa. So Ella Villa is going to pick up her 4th personal. And that's going to send Kaylynne Truong back to the free throw line. So Kaylynne, so far 3 out of 4 from the free throw line. And she has 17 points after hitting that 3 to force overtime. And she hits that one to tie us up. This time it's 68 apiece. And now Gonzaga trying to take their first lead of overtime with 4:20 left to go in the extra session. And Gonzaga hits the free throw to take a 69-68 lead. So the Cougars back across and into front court with 4 1/4 left to go in the extra session. Tahina to Charlissa Leger-Walker. She's got it at the 3-point line. Starts to penetrate into the lane, puts up the shot. That one around and falls in. And Charlissa Leger-Walker with the bucket. She now has given the Cougars a 70-69 lead and has 26. Truong to the high post. Hybens from 17 misses. Rebound comes down to Bruna Maxwell, though, of Gonzaga. Cross courts it over to Little. Little goes inside with it, putting up the shot down low as Gonzaga can't get it to fall. Get their own rebound, and the putback won't go. Another fight for the rebound. Maxwell again comes away with it for Gonzaga. They'll get a fresh 20 as they'll bring it out along the perimeter one more time. So it's Gonzaga with it with 3.5 left to play in overtime. Truong working against Villa. Gonna put up one from 17, that's around and out, no good. Rebound pops loose to Estera Tahina, and the Cougars to bring it across. 70-69 Washington State as AT's got it out high on the right. She's got it for the Cougs, and we'll have it on the far sideline as we look at things. Brings it now to Beyonce B, now over to the left wing, and Charlissa Leger-Walker. Truong on her with 8 left to shoot. Charlisse penetrates in, kicks it out. Now it's going to be Tahina. 3-ball on the way, got it! Sarah Tahina with a triple, and the Cougars a 4-point lead with 2:40 left to play in overtime. Now Kaylynne Truong goes to the high post. They look to pass, looking to get it inside to Maxwell. Now the kick out. It's Little to Hybens. Hybens has it now at the 3-point line. Gives it to Kaylynne Truong with 10 left to shoot. 3-ball on the way, and she buries another 3. Kaylynne Truong's got 22, and it's a 1-point Cougar lead with 2:15 left to play in overtime. Now Washington State with it as Ella Villa at the 3-point stripe. Gives out top to Charlissa Leger-Walker, inside to Beyonce B, who's open. She'll lay it up and in, and the Cougar lead is 3. 75-72, 2 minutes and counting left to play in the extra period. Kaylynne Truong across the midcourt stripe now for Gonzaga. Goes to the high post to Hybens at the left elbow. She'll give it back to Truong, working against Villa. Now it's Truong looking, and she's trying to stick with her as Villa. Screen coming. Truong steps in, puts one up from 17. That's off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound squirts loose as Sarah Tahina picks up the loose change. Cougars with it, up 3 with a minute and a half. Pass inside to Colville, and she can't quite find the handle. So it's back over to Gonzaga with now 1:27 left to play in overtime. So Gonzaga will have it back. Kaylynne Truong's been superhuman here as of late. You'll want to make sure you know where she's at and make sure you got a hand up on her. Minute 20 left to play in overtime, and she's got a top of the key. Gives to Maxwell at the right wing with Charlissa Leger-Walker on her. Maxwell down to the baseline, tries to hit a cutting player, but too much traffic, and it's Charlissa Leger-Walker coming away with it. 1:05 left to play in overtime. We'll see if the Cougars lose some clock here. Down to 20 left on the shot clock, a minute left to play in overtime, and working with a 3-point lead. Charlisse right back to Tahina. She's got it left wing. Now we'll start to penetrate in. Kicks it back out to Ella Villa. Inside to Colville. Colville gonna make a move. Puts it up with the left hand. Dances on the rim twice and falls off. And the rebound comes down to Gonzaga. And a timeout taken by the Zags. So with 41.3 left to play, Lisa Jones, I believe, is telling Gonzaga that they can't advance the ball here because they had possession and took a dribble with it. And so I think they will have to bring it 3/4 court when we come back from the timeout. Each team given the extra timeout. They had used all 4 that they were given in regulation, so Gonzaga back out of timeouts. The Cougars have 1 remaining. Again, both teams have been over the limit with what feels like a half an hour now here in the 4th quarter and overtime. And if we do have a jump ball, remember the Cougars won the tip, so a jump ball would go Gonzaga's way. Well, obviously, you've got to know where Kaylynne Truong is, and you also have to know where Brenna Maxwell is, as they are 2 very capable 3-point shooters for Gonzaga. 41.3 seconds left to play in overtime. Cougars would take a 3-point lead at regulation, and then a foul was whistled on Washington State, and Gonzaga would hit a couple of free throws. Then with 6+ seconds left, the Cougars fouled, and Charlissa Leger-Walker hit a couple of free throws. And then as time was winding down, probably pretty close to midway between the top of the arc and the 3-point line in midcourt, Kaylynne Truong buries a 3 to send us to the extra session. Now the Cougars with some big points in the extra session. Charlissa Leger-Walker leading the way with 26 points for Washington State. Kaylynne Truong's got 22 for Gonzaga tonight. And again, no E-Jim. She fouled out a little over midway left to go in the 4th quarter. No Kaylynne Truong, so it's just down to Kaylynne Truong out of the 2 of them that's still left playing. And the Cougars are without Bella Murakatete, who fouled out in the 4th quarter as well for Washington State. 41.3 left. And again, Gonzaga with the basketball here. So the Cougars with the early advantage, and then we had the lead swap a couple of times in overtime. Overall in this one, we've had 10 ties and 9 lead changes. And it's been back and forth between these two regional rivals that both have dreams of not only getting to the NCAA tournament, but once getting there, making some noise. And what a good non-conference test for both to get things going here in the second game of the season. All right, out of the timeout, Kaylynne Truong will bring it into front court for Gonzaga. Has it at the right wing and then goes into the corner with it. We're down to a half a minute to play. Esther Little driving in, gives it now to Hybens, now out to Brenna Maxwell. Brenna trying to find some space, can't with Charlissa Leger-Walker on her. Little in the corner, brings it back out to Kaylynne Truong. 8 left on the shot clock. Charlissa Leger-Walker now on her. Kaylynne Truong trying to get off a shot. Does. It's off the backboard. No good. Beyonce B hauls in another big rebound. We're down to 10 seconds left. Off to Wallach. Now to Tahina. In low to Ella Villa. She gets the layup, and that should seal the deal. Ella Villa gets the bucket. Gonzaga lets one fly from midcourt, and it is over. The Cougars, another defensive stop. Beyonce B coming up with her 11th rebound of the night, and then 2 insurance points at the end seal the deal for Washington State. And on a night where they raise the banner and receive the rings for winning the Pac-12 tournament last season, more importantly for this year's group, a huge non-conference overtime win as they knock off Gonzaga 77-72. What a concept.